Alright, slobs, I'm troubleshooting a p0106 error on this Chevy Malibu. It's a map sensor error, but it could be an issue with the throttle body or with the intake manifold here. I took the cover off the car, that's that. There are other videos that show you how to do this, but that's just like T30 screws that unscrew off, and you take the oil cap off, get the cover off. There's another video I'll link to that shows you how to get the intake, I think it's called a plenum, off. So I got that off. It just connects my air box down to the throttle body there. So the other video I'm going to link you to, it shows you how to tighten the bolts on the intake manifold. I took my shop blower, a little cobalt, and I blew so much grit out of the top here. I keep my engine pretty clean too, but I blew so much crap out from back here. I've used so many tools so far. The intake manifold actually didn't seem really loose. Maybe the bolt all the way on the passenger side over here was slightly loose. This here pushes down a little bit, which has me a little concerned. It has some flex. To get that intake plenum off, the other video will show you, but these are from the PCV valves. They're real easy to take off. Focus on it. Which one am I gonna do? So the key is, come on, focus. Yeah, it has that little notch, so you have to pull it down and over, and that's how they unlock. And the other video shows you that too, but it didn't really show you it has that tab. So if you don't pull down and over, you're not going to get it past that notch, which is something I learned. This goes like that, and it connects to the PCVs. And there was a little oil in it because I have some oil burning and blow by, so I was getting a little oil in here, and it gets sucked into the intake and burned. But so what I did to try to troubleshoot this, I tightened the intake manifold bolts, as the other video shows. I had a lot of grit in my throttle body, and I cleaned it out, but you could still see in there's like some scratches where the plate was like rubbing some dirt, and you don't really want that dirt in the engine, but it got in there. So what I did was I cleaned it out. I have throttle body spray here, and I also dumped this can. It's like a sea foam, but it's gum out, and it's a tune-up. I dumped this slowly into the throttle body using a funnel, and it's kind of like a sea foam treatment for the top end, because I thought, well, maybe some of my air is getting blocked from the intake valves. After the air comes into the intake manifold, goes into the valves on the top end, maybe because this is direct injection, it gets all sooty, maybe air is getting blocked past the intake valves. So I dumped that can in slowly with the engine on. You have to leave the engine on, because if you turn the engine off, you have a chance of hydro locking it. As this stuff gets sucked into the combustion chambers, it can like bend the valves and stuff. So I dumped that slowly in. As then I would stop, go in, rev it up to like 2,000. It'll blow tons of white smoke. I was hoping that might clean the top end out and get some better airflow. If all this fails, I'm going to replace the map sensor. Oh yeah, when you're doing all this, you have to unplug the MAF, which is over here, or else the car won't idle. And it'll give you all kinds of error codes, but you got to unplug that, or else your car will just start and after 10 seconds die out. So you unplug that, and just ignore the errors. You can let it idle that way, you can rev it and all. You just don't want to run it a ton with nothing connected. You can actually see all the grime in there on the throttle body. I actually wiped some with my finger. I'll do it with this shop tail. So I already got so much off, but that soot, that could have been blocking the throttle plate, restricting some air. When I would dump the gum out in there, it would give like a whistling sound, which is good. You're supposed to get that, but it did seem slightly restricted. So I'm just trying to clean all this crap out. Hopefully when I put it back together, the codes are gone. If not, I'll replace the map sensor. The other video that I'm going to link you to shows you how to do that. The throttle plate, it's moving. It always actually moved good, but it's moving okay. Let me see if I can turn the flash on. You can see down there, if it focuses right, where the grit was like chopping into the throttle body. You could see like, my finger blocks it, but right along the plate, you see all that gunk and those scratches? That was like pieces of sand and dirt and stuff, and I cleaned that out. So hopefully it's gonna run better now. Time will tell. I actually, after I dumped like the last quarter of the tune-up in there, I shut the engine off, and that's supposed to let it like soak that gum out on the valves and hopefully clean them a little more. You can see here the PCV valve, how it had some oil. That's from like the blow-by, and the oil comes up and gets sucked into the intake and then burned off. Let's clean that up, but I was able to run everything with this stuff off, and this oil was not really there before on the intake manifold. But this concerns me. I don't know if I showed you this. The intake manifold on top, it flexes a little right here, and that's what concerns me. We'll see when I throw everything back together, but I didn't hear any whistling or anything when I would rev this when the engine was on to know if there's like a crack in that intake manifold. I do not want to have to replace that, because you could see it's on the back end of the engine. Let me zoom back out. It's on the back end of the engine. Gonna be a bitch to get to. So I'll let you know whether this fixes it, but we'll see. Keep you updated. See you guys. Like and subscribe. Bye.